Story time about how I got my sister's boyfriend to fall in love with me, and I do not regret it. My sister and I have always been rivals since we were kids. I'm 22 and she's 24. We were always super close in age, which means we competed for everything, including our parents' attention, clothes and makeup, and somehow we always ended up liking the same boys. When I turned 16, she was going away for college, and I actually started to appreciate her a lot more. We started calling each other every single day, and I realized that I really miss my sister. We actually got closer living further away than together. My parents were also really happy with this because her and I would not get along when she lived at home. One weekend I decided to go stay with her on her campus, and that's when things got interesting. My sister was living it up. She was partying all the time. I told her that I didn't really like that she was partying so much. I told her that I didn't feel comfortable with her passing out at random guys' places. She told me that I was overreacting and not to tell my parents. But I got home and told my parents everything. This is when our relationship became bad once again. After this, my sister didn't trust me, and basically she became my enemy. She started criticizing everything about me, the clothes that I'd wear, so I had to distance myself from her. My parents wanted her to move back in with us because she wasn't doing well in school. She was clearly partying instead of studying. Of course, my sister refused to move back home, so my parents basically cut her off. I got a new boyfriend at this time, and my sister would flirt with him anytime she came home. I even caught them hugging one time. When I walked in on my boyfriend and my sister hugging, I knew I had to do something. I went straight to my parents and told them what she was doing. My dad pulled her into her room and talked to her, but she totally denied everything. She said that she was not flirting with my boyfriend, but we all knew that was a lie. Even my boyfriend was honest with me and told me that she had been flirting with him openly. That's when my boyfriend told me he didn't even want to come over to our house because my sister made him that uncomfortable. And when I told my parents this, they felt so embarrassed. They called my boyfriend and personally apologized to him. He was actually so sweet though. He would come visit me to my house and we would just chill out in his car while my sister was inside watching us through the window. Yeah, she was crazy. He and I eventually broke up because he went off to live in another country. And guess what? My sister said that she knew he never loved me and that's why he left me. She was being so mean at the time. A few years later, she started dating someone. Of course, at the time, it never occurred to me to even flirt with him or act the way that she did with my boyfriend. You see, I'm above all that. But as soon as I got a new boyfriend, she would start flirting with him. And she had no shame about it. This became a running problem in my family. My parents would ask her to leave me alone and my boyfriends, and she would say that she did. But no, she didn't. Oh yeah, and her boyfriend broke up with her because he noticed that she would flirt with a lot of guys. Apparently, she did it even in front of him. So when she finally got a new boyfriend, I decided that I was gonna do the same thing to her. I started flirting with her boyfriend a little. Not a lot, but I definitely made sure to tell him I thought he was attractive. After a few weeks, he started saying things back to me, and I knew that it was working. I never did it in front of my sisters and my parents because I didn't want them to get mad at me. So instead, I got her boyfriend to basically fall in love with me. I already knew everything about him because my sister would tell me, so I just started telling him I liked the same things he did. It got to the point where one day he kissed me and I didn't tell my parents. I made sure to get his hopes up. One day I went up to my sister and told her that her boyfriend had kissed me. First she thought I was making it up to make her jealous. She told me I could never compete with her and that she was the more beautiful sister out of the two of us, which is wrong. So I handed her my phone so that she could see all the messages that her boyfriend and I had been sending each other. And that's when she lost it. She started wailing on me. She started slapping and kicking me. My parents ran into her room and asked her what was wrong. I told my parents that I treated my sister the way she treated me. She would always go after my boyfriends, flirt with them, and try to get them to break up with me. Of course, my parents didn't agree with me, so they were really angry. They separated us, but my sister went crazy. She called her boyfriend and told him to come over. Obviously, he didn't know that she already knew at the time. And when he came over, she started beating him up. He grabbed a pan from the kitchen and started swinging at him. She actually ended up giving him a concussion. After that, she begged for his forgiveness, but he still broke up with her. At the end of the day, he ended up leaving her. She was so stupid for begging him to stay with her. Her boyfriend even asked me if we could be together, and I told him no. I told him that the whole time I had just been playing him just to get back at my sister, which I know is so cruel, but he deserved it. After that, my sister and I decided to make peace. She told me that she wouldn't mess with my boyfriends anymore and that she would stop being evil. But after a month of having my new boyfriend, I found her flirting with him too. I told her if she didn't stop that I would make her life miserable once again. I'm pretty sure she has a boyfriend, but she doesn't want to tell my family, cause she knows that I'll go after him and I would probably end up making him fall in love with me too. But at this point, I just don't know what to do. What should I do? She's so evil and I want to make her life miserable. Bye.
I'm divorcing my wife because she has been late for 90% of everything we have ever done together. Everyone we know is shocked and confused, but I don't care. No, I'm not having an affair. No, I'm not having a midlife crisis. No, I'm not looking for a younger woman. No, I'm not hiding anything. My wife and I have been together for 12 years. During this time, she has not made even the slightest amount of effort to be on time for anything we did. When we were dating, average wait times were 15 minutes to an hour for her to finally fucking show up. I waited because I loved her. After marriage, she somehow got worse, and after childbirth, she got even worse. She used to blame circumstances for being late every time, but now she just blames our son. I put up with it because I loved her. Example 1, we're currently looking at preschools. We're 15 to 30 minutes late for each meeting because the thing we need most in our lives is for the teachers to believe our son is chronically going to be late for school. It's always something with her. Example 2, I wanted to see a movie in theaters a while ago. She wanted to come too. I had to leave her in a clothing shop because I was going to miss the start of the movie. Of course she was livid. Example 3, a few months ago, we went to see a concert of a group she likes. We were an hour early because of course we were an hour early. It was something that she wanted to do. I'm so sick and tired of it. Dinner reservations are always a toss-up because restaurants in our area have no chill and will cancel your reservation if you're a minute late. Growing increasingly anxious as she stares at her fucking phone and trying to ask her in the nicest way possible to hurry up is a horrible feeling, especially since she will flip her lid the second that I try to tell her we're going to be late. Meeting up with friends, going to a children's event with our son, for fuck's sake even trying to take a walk is always an ordeal of trying to get her to put the goddamn phone down and get ready so I don't have to stand there like an idiot. I think my boiling point was last week when I stood at the entrance of our house for 20 minutes with our son, as he grew increasingly impatient, and then seeing she had abruptly decided to start vacuuming the house. I'm getting spammed with calls from mutual friends and family. She went and told everyone that we're getting divorced. Everyone wants to talk me out of it. I just broke after years of patience. I have no regrets.
Alright, I want to talk about what it was like to grow up with my sister. For reference, she's 3 years older than me, which is why I always called her my older little sister, because she always acted like the little sister. Since I was a child, I have been anal as hell about all of my belongings, all of my things. They have to be orderly, they have to be put together, they have to be, however I want them to be. And I can take one quick glance at the hundreds of things that I have and can tell what's missing. So she would have this habit of taking my clothes after I told her no, even though we weren't even the same size. I asked her if she took it, she would get so overly defensive and yell at me saying, I didn't take it, why are you always blaming me? And then I would find it in her room. But this is where she drew the line. Growing up, I didn't have a very close relationship with my dad, so whenever he would buy me something, I would hold it so close to my heart, like it was the best thing in the world. So he took me on a shopping spree to Forever 21, and I got this top. I didn't even get to wear it yet, so when I don't wear something yet, nobody else gets to wear it. So my sister said, hey, can I wear this? And I said, no, that's really special to me, and I want to be able to wear it first. Not even a day later, it goes missing. I'm like flipping a shit. I have a fucking meltdown crying because I know it sounds silly, but that shirt meant so much to me because my dad bought it for me. My mom was like, did you take your sister's shirt? And she was like, no, I didn't take it. I shit you not, for the next hour, we are tearing apart the house trying to find this goddamn shirt. And it gets to a point where my mom said to my sister, if you just took it, just tell me. It's okay, but I want this to stop. I want this to end. Like, can we just sort it out? My sister was like, I didn't take it. So after not being able to find it, she goes off to a friend's house for a party or whatever. And I decide to be a little sneaky, go inside her room with the lights off because she was still outside, brought my flashlight in her closet. I went through each item of clothing in her closet. Guess what? I didn't just find the shirt. I found it tucked inside another shirt. Just in case we did try to go look in her closet, we wouldn't find it. But guess what? I did. My mother fucking went off on her. She was like, you made us go through all that. You watched your sister have a meltdown for an hour, and you had it this whole time. Yep, gotta love her.
Okay, every now and then you have a night where you're like, okay, I have to take a break from drinking. And when you're younger, it's more chaotic. It's like, oh no, I got double teamed in an alley. I gotta stop all this shit. But now that I'm older, it doesn't take a lot for me to get really pissed off with myself. So I'm not drinking right now because on Saturday I went to my friend's house with my boyfriend, and my boyfriend and I are quickly realizing, like, we drink. Like, we're leaving empty bottles everywhere. Everybody's on drink 2. We're on drink 10. It's like bad. We're gluttons. So we get home from my friend's house. I take my coat off and I put it in the laundry. Remember that for later. Boyfriend goes to watch TV. I get into bed. I put my AirPods in and I'm looking to listen to some hypnosis before I go to bed. I've literally never done that before, but I type in hypnosis for a healthier life because even in my state, I knew like the next morning I'd want to turn a new leaf. I'm trying to connect to my AirPods and it's not working. And I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized I took Luke's AirPods. Like I took his AirPods from his house. I'm like, whatever, I'll still listen to this hypnosis. So I figure it out. This person is like, you are in control. And I'm like, yeah. So I fall asleep. My boyfriend comes to bed an hour later, kisses me on the head, then says that I sit up, walk to his side of the bed, pull my pants down, and try and piss on the floor. He has never seen me do. I've done that once, but not in the 4 years I've been with him. He's like yelling at me, go to the bathroom, and I'm like, fuck you, and I go to the other side of the room and try and piss on that side of the floor. He's like touching the bed, being like, this won't do, and he's like, yeah, just use a toilet. So I make my way to the toilet. This is how I wake up, okay? On the toilet, in the dark, pissing, this guy in my ear going, breathe, you're in control. Outside of that, I hear Joe laughing like a hyena, and I am mid-sentence. Because when someone's asleep and you're like, are you asleep? And they're like, no. I was asleep and drunk and confused, so I'm just going, no, no, no. And then I hear like, breathe, and then Joe, I'm awake, I take my AirPod out and he's still laughing and I'm like, what are we laughing at? Whatever, we chuckle, I go to bed. Next morning, even though I'm hungover, I decide to do laundry. See my coat in the laundry, I'm like, interesting choice, but fuck, I'm gonna roll with it. How often do you wash a coat? So I check the pockets, make sure there's nothing inside, throw it in the laundry. During that time, I drive Luke's AirPods back to his house. When I get home, I'm like, where the hell are my AirPods? Folding my clothes, I'm folding the coat and I feel something like in the lining of the coat. These fucking AirPods went through the pocket, into the lining of the coat, and are now like back here. So I'm like fishing them out, which took so long because the hole was like this big. Open them, the light's on, one AirPod inside. I'm no scientist, but how did this washing machine have the dexterity to open the AirPod case within the lining of this small coat, suck out one of the magnetic AirPods, and then fish it back through that hole? Because it's gone. It's not in the coat. It's not even in the laundry machine. It's in Narnia. This is why I'm not drinking now, because I do not deserve to drink if I'm gonna lose AirPods. That's just how I feel. Those are expensive. And you know what's even worse? I'm not gonna buy new AirPods. I'm gonna get fucking cheapies. Of course I'm gonna get cheap. I'm not buying new AirPods. And I have to put pee pads down on the floor for me, because I make pee pee on the floor now. Anyway, I'm not drinking till Saturday.
I think I just met myself. So this man walked in and was like, can I bring my dogs in here? And I was like, please bring your dogs in here. And this man brought in 2 pugs and a stroller. It was so fucking cute. Let me show you a picture. Just look at them. Oh my god. But that man is not who we are talking about. So I was petting the dogs and ringing these people up, correct? And then this giant ass group of people walked in. And at first I was like, oh fuck. And this girl was just looking at the wrapping paper. I call her a girl, but she's actually a full-grown woman with a child. She was just looking at the wrapping paper and like she approached me and was like, oh my god, I love the eggplant and fucking peach wrapping paper. I was like, who doesn't? And we both said psychopaths at the same time. Like one of the other ladies in the store turned around and was like, what the fuck? We both just kind of looked at her and then looked back at each other and continued talking. She's like, no, this wrapping paper is so perfect because you can give it to a child and they just think it's fruit and veggies. And I was like, and if you give it to an old person, they just think it's fruit and veggies. But then if we give it to somebody in our generation, they understand and it's hilarious. Perfect for any occasion. And she was like, was this place like meant to be like this? Or like, no. And I was like, oh, funny story actually. When my boss opened this place, her husband like ordered all this stuff with swear words on it. And the very first thing they sold was an oven mitt that said, I'll feed all you fuckers. And my boss thought that she was getting pranked because she didn't believe anybody would actually buy that stuff. She was like, no fucking way. I was just looking at that oven mitt. I'm thinking about buying it. I was talking to her about this dish towel that cracks me the fuck up every time I look at it. It has like a picture of Satan on it sitting next to a giant block of cheese and it says, hey, have you tried cheese? Like, oh my god, that's hilarious, but I'm lactose intolerant, so I can only eat Cabot cheese. And I was like, no fucking shit, I'm also lactose intolerant and only eat Cabot cheese. She was like, oh no shit! We kind of just kept talking, and like, she added me on Instagram, I added her back. We're gonna be best friends now. Thank you, have a good day.
Has someone ever hated you for no specific reason? I don't know what I ever did to Sandra. She made my life in high school a living hell and I almost died because of that. I started St. Elizabeth in the middle of first term in my first year in high school. My mom and my dad had just divorced and I was going through a lot. My brother was staying with my mom in our old town and I had just moved to a new town with my dad. I missed my mom and my brother so much and I just couldn't understand why we had to be separated. Like I said, I was going through a lot. When I started St. Elizabeth, everybody seemed nice. I was a very shy girl and I just loved being alone. Sandra was the first friend I made there. We both loved dancing and we both went to the same dance studio after school every day. We became inseparable. She was like a sister to me and I told her all my secrets. Being friends with her helped me forget about my parents' divorce. She asked me one night at a sleepover if I had a crush on anyone. I didn't even want to talk about it at first, but she still insisted. So I told her I had a crush on Steve, a senior in our school. She laughed when she heard this. She told me she was feeling tired and wanted to go to bed. Sometimes I wonder if she had always hated me and was just pretending to be my friend, or if the hate started when I told her about my crush on Steve. Sandra stopped picking my calls after that day. I tried talking to her after school the next day, but she acted as if I was invisible. She started hanging out with a new group of girls in school. And soon after that, all the things I told her in private started circulating around school. When I asked her why she was doing that, she told me I was not on her level and that she became my friend out of pity, as if sharing my secrets with the rest of the school was not enough. She She started spreading lies about me. Part 2 is she started spreading lies about me. She said I had slept with every senior in my old school, and my parents got divorced because of the shame I had brought to them. I couldn't breathe when I heard a group of girls speaking about this behind me in school. She even went as far as to pay some of the seniors in our school to say they had slept with me. She said I smelled very bad because I slept around a lot. People stopped talking to me in school and others started creating their own lies about me. I just couldn't take it anymore. And up till date, I don't know what I did wrong. I went to the highest story building in school ready to jump. Something wrapped itself around me and pulled me back from jumping. I don't know what it was, but it made me realize I was not ready to die at that time. I went back home and told my dad I wanted to go stay with my mom. I went back to my old high school, and even though I knew everyone there already, I avoided everyone. I stayed by myself till I graduated, and even till date, I don't make friends because I don't trust anyone. I just keep to myself. Now, my brother traveled a year ago. He told my mom and I he has met the love of his life. They've been dating for 7 months, and he's thinking of marrying her. We were all happy for him and couldn't wait to meet her. When he finally brought her over to the house, I couldn't talk out of shock. The woman he wanted to marry was Sandra, the girl who had given me trust issues and had made my life a living hell. I ran out of the house, and my mom and my brother followed me. They didn't understand what was going on, so I told them the whole story. My brother broke up with Sandra afterwards. He said the Sandra he knows is the opposite of the Sandra I just told him about. He would only get back together with her after I give him my blessing. Sandra has also asked for my forgiveness. She said she's a changed woman and that she loves my brother very much. She said she was a child in high school and she regretted everything she did to me after I left. I asked her why she did the things she did, and she said it was because she also had a crush on Steve. Like, are you kidding me? You did all these things to me because we both had a crush on the same guy? Who does that? My mom doesn't like Sandra, but she's willing to give her a chance if I do. I know my brother is crazy about her, and I don't want to be the one standing in the way of his happiness. But what shows Sandra has changed? She was very manipulative, and is she going to make my brother happy? And she's the kind of person who can turn my brother against me and my mom once she gets married to him. I'm finding it very hard to forgive her, but I want my brother to be happy. Do you think I should give them my blessing? This follower needs your advice, babes. Please drop some below.